Ladies and gentlemen, boys and squirrels, and children of all ages, welcome to a lovely edition of Wrestling Road Rage. This topic is a PSA. What does PSA stand for? Public Service Announcement. Yay! This is for bullying in wrestling in general. Now,
be a star.
Be a star. Now, we've had comments recently with people like Mark Henry and Bully Ray and even Undertaker, where they talked about their behind-the-scenes antics or locker room etiquette at times where they are more than just stiff with the rookies. Like, oh yeah, rookie's got to carry the bags, rookie's got to do this. And it's kind of a general hazing culture, and as time's gone on, it's kind of looked down upon. Like, you don't do that anymore. Like, it's not cool to do. Like, we look at it with, look at the plane ride from hell. That was a lot of old school mentality. With today's wrestlers, do you really hear of anything like that aside from the certain leaks that happened several years ago that were never meant to get out? You don't really hear that kind of negative press as far as wrestlers doing that in the mainstream as much anymore. It's a different culture. With people like Xavier Woods, for example, he has up, up, down, down. And when we look at how he reacts to people backstage, or even when we hear about backstage conversations and they're brought up, it's no longer this bullying or, oh yeah, I'm gonna make them, eat out in the hallway.
Man, all these wrestlers like each other and they play video games. Back in my day, we beat the shit out of each other.
Did a line of coke off a stripper's ass. It's such good shit. But you need to be able to stand out from the crowd, but there's other ways to do it than singling other people out. Wrestling is at its best when everybody's performing at their best. Right. Some people do really well with the sword of Damocles hanging over their head, like, oh God, if I don't do X, Y, or Z, Undertaker's gonna get me. See what I did there? Others are like, hey, listen, I work really well with this person, so we just mesh really well. You've noticed it back in the day, John Cena, Randy Orton. We had seen that match 80 times. But by the end...
he's probably not exaggerating that number.
No. We've seen that match numerous times. But towards the middle of that feud and towards the end, did you see either one of them really calling their spots? No. Did you see John Cena pull out moves that you never really see him do? Yes. Like Randy Orton and John Cena versus the Raw locker room from way back in the day. Fantastic match. But anyways, back to the focal point of bullying. It doesn't help anybody. We've had scandals like Bill DeMott being released from NXT when he was the head trainer because he was just berating rookies to the point where I feel like it actually cost WWE more talent than they gained during that era. And now you have a lot of rookies that are coming up and like, hey, listen, Albert is helping us out. Matt Bloom is doing fantastic, creating this new era of talent. And that's why we saw NXT. While the ratings may not always show it, I feel like the talent themselves have really kind of come out more, and they can do more than in the Bill DeMott era. While yes, you need to be tough to be a wrestler, it's not ballet, there's better ways to handle it than just continually beat people up backstage for some sort of slight that you may feel they have done, like eating chicken in the locker room.
I think now where every wrestler has a cell phone on them, everybody backstage has a cell phone on them. What you could get away with 10, 20, 30 years ago, you can't get away with now because there's going to be cameras on you. That's going to come back to haunt you, as we saw with the plane ride from hell and things like that. People can come out and it's his word against his word, but with everyone having technology on them, anything you do
when people
can be held over your
head.
Stupid
shit you say or do, it don't help the case.
And when you're looking for, and I know wrestlers, this has happened to with their social media, one tweet, one Instagram post cost them a contract. So imagine doing something. No matter
how long ago it might have been.
Even if it was 9, 10 years ago, imagine someone having cell phone footage of, something you did, and that's going to cost you that training job you wanted after retirement. That's going to cost you a potential connection to a different brand of wrestling or something like that.
Unless you're Seth Rollins, in which case,
Well,
somebody got released. Somebody freed his Willie on Twitter.
Oh my.
We will not be putting those images up, thank you.
No.
Yeah, I think unfortunately it was technology, I think, that pretty much kiboshed the bullying thing. I mean, that shouldn't have had to be what did it. But now that everyone can prove what you've done, even if even if it's in good fun, it's, just a joke. Hazing has a very negative connotation now because of college campuses and fraternities and things like that. As a brand, you don't want to be associated with hazing tactics of your employees, even though they're independent contractors, whatnot. You don't want that associated with your name.
In summation, don't be a dick.
It's gonna be his new catchphrase.
Yep.
Alright, so we're gonna close out this episode. Be sure to push those buttons down there, hit the like, hit the subscribe, maybe leave a comment. Tell us what you think on the whole situation. And as he said, don't be a dick. Later days, y'all, and take care of yourselves, everybody.